glad there's no invasion, but not for the same reason why. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlog who always tells it like it is. Alright, I get it. It was in Fort Lauderdale, not Orlando. Look, I'm an old man. I forget things. Much like NXT forgot to tell us about Sol Ruka's opponent changing, which is why I didn't include it in... Look, will you just show the prediction results, please? Thank you. Ooh. Yeah, on second thought, get that out of here. Would you just get that out of here, please? This wasn't my all-time best week. Speaking of NXT, all this jumping between TNA, NXT, AAA, and the main rosters is getting ridiculous, especially with the titles jumping from promotion to promotion. TNA champs need to stop defending their titles on NXT, even if they're on the NXT roster. For that, I'm with TNA all the way. But one thing I was fearing was a reversion to a 2001 era in the WWE, back before they got the F out. See, just before WrestleMania X7, it was announced that McMahon had bought up WWE's biggest rival, WCW. And Mr. Vince McMahon was going to address both the Monday Night Raw audience on USA and the Monday Nitro crowd from Panama Beach on TNT. But just as he was about to shelve WCW indefinitely, out came Vince's son Shane in the WWE ring, saying that the McMahon who bought the WCW was Shane, and he promised future pain for his pops. Well, that pain waited until June when WCW wrestlers started encroaching on WWE shows, a war that expanded when ECW, another promotion Vince got for a song, joined with WCW in an alliance to take over WWE programming. This had first came to at the pay-per-view which I named the era after, Invasion. Champ versus champ, not title for title though. Big names against each other in a tag match, hell, even the refs got into the battle. No titles changed hands though. That would wait until SummerSlam and, well, practically every other week on WWE TV. But the whole thing ended when Mr. and Mrs. McMahon challenged their spawn to a traditional Survivor Series match at the November pay-per-view where the winner lives and the loser goes away. Titles were unified for good, a battle royal gave one of them immunity from firing, and in the end, the WWE reigned supreme. Of course, this led to Ric Flair saying that he was the new co-owner, and the first brand split after WrestleMania X8. The Invasion era was cool at first, but the fact that they made nearly every WWE superstar a face and nearly every Alliance wrestler a heel, Rob Van Dam be damned, that got old really fast, especially with titles and authority figures constantly changing. They even brought back the women's title at the end, though it was before women in the WWE stopped being looked upon as eye candy instead of true competitors. So when I heard that at NXT No Mercy that General Manager Ava was setting up an NXT versus TNA card complete with 4-on-4 Survivor Series matches for both genders and a tag team unification match that I pray ends in a DQ, and called the event Invasion, zoinks! That sounded worse than the Catch the Midget match at one of the Raw Roulette shows in the past. TNA is not a bunch of heels here to take over NXT, alright? NXT is not all faces. I mean, most of their champions aren't. This is not an invasion, and it is not worth dragging out a 24-year-old logo from the garbage pile of one-hit wonders. Fortunately, NXT agreed, though not for the same reasons as I objected. See, when Israel and the Jewish communities around the world heard that the name would be Invasion and, more importantly, would take place on October 7th, they reminded the WWE that it was on October 7th, 2023 that Hamas attacked Israel in what Washington Post called an invasion. Not only that, but the V in the invasion logo, a logo I remind you was made 22 years prior to said attacks, looked too much like a Hamas symbol turned upside down. To them, anyway. And the WWE being, well, a little woke, but not enough to piss off conservatives, I suppose, decided to change it. The on-screen reason was that Ava and TNA Director of Authority Santina Marella, God, it feels weird saying that. Anyway, they had mutual respect for each other and their companies, so this wasn't an invasion by TNA, more of a showdown between talent. Hence the name change. But part of me wonders if this isn't a prelude to WWE just buying out TNA at last. I mean, they do have first rights to buy it, and should anyone make an offer, the WWE can match it and take it out from under them. And TKO Group Holdings seem to be doing well since getting WWE and UFC, so I mean, could they make it like a European Association Football with Raw and SmackDown as its Premier League, followed by NXT and TNA in League One, and Evolve, AAA, and LFG, and possibly NXT Europe as League Two? I mean, as long as the titles stay mid the levels, I'd be behind that. Just for Bischoff's sake, stop calling these crossovers invasions. Next week, special Friday Crown Jewel picks. I'm Chris Wolvie, the Wrestling Blog, who always tells it like it is. Pray for peace, and I'll see you